Right here on the.
Hey, Jeff and Todd, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you. I can't see anyone.
The camera's off. I'll turn it on in just a second. Okay. All right, Madam Chair, are you ready to start the roll call?
Yes.
Okay. Kate Reed,
Here.
Kurt Spingath,
Here.
Jeff Cox. Jeff, you're
I'm here.
okay. Eric Schmidt.
Here.
Todd Zakowski.
Shows that he's on. He's on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
He's here. See if we can get him. Yep.
Todd, would you mind unmuting?
Hello, I'm Deidre Connor.
Hi, Deidre. This is Katie Foster. We're taking roll call currently.
I'm
Trying to
the
get,
deputy for CFMO.
okay.
Board,
Oh,
roll call for the board
we're taking a roll call for the board
for a quorum.
for quorum. So we're waiting on Todd to answer. And I don't think I have him muted.
Bottom left, it says mute.
He's on.
He's on mute.
So go ahead and finish the call out.
Okay, Wes not.
Here. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Chair, we have.
Do we have a quorum, Madam Chair? We
The-
do.
The meeting can start.
Correct.
First item on the agenda is public comment. So if someone wants to start with a comment of 3 minutes and state where you're living.
I'll go first. Hey, everybody. My name is Brian Ford. I live on Silcox Island. I'm also on the board of the American Lake Improvement Club. And I'm just here to be a liaison between this meeting and that group.
Next. Sure.
Good.
Yes.
One request, if you can state your name.
Yeah.
And give Katie just a second to catch up writing and setting the timer. As she's putting notes together. Eric, did you have your hand up? No, we'll go ahead and leave it open because we're at capacity on the room. If anyone needs to, if we need to go out quickly, it'll be these two doors. These tables in the middle can move. We'll move them out of the way so you can get from that side to this side next.
Okay, we're good.
So my name is Janet Spingath. I live on Walnut Street on, I can stand up.
No,
Just louder. I live on Walnut Street on the North Shore of American Lake. And I have 2 suggestions and 1 question. My first suggestion is that the LND become members of the Washington Lake Protection Association. It's a nonprofit group that is comprised of lake managers all over Washington state. It's open to lake management districts as well as individuals, and it's a great place to network and follow trends in lake management. Second suggestion is that the LMD board recruit a scientific advisory committee that would be comprised of scientists, people who are researchers, educators, people who have published and are qualified to review scientific literature, and consider having a non-voting scientist on the board for it to act in case of any kind of scientific things that you decide to do that could be reviewed by scientists. My last one is my question. I'm following up Weston with my question in December. Were you able to find out for us the procedure for if people want to propose a new project or something to the LD?
So again, this is public comment, not a dialogue, so thank you for is that all your public comment? All right. We'll move on.
All right, who's next?
I have a question. Will we have a chance to weigh in during the discussion, or if I want to say something, do I need to say it now?
This is your opportunity for public comment.
Oh, okay. I have a copy of this for you, so you don't need to take notes. I have a suggestion. Similar to what Janet just
Just
made.
put-
Your name?
Could you state your
Jan Kovar, I live on American Lakes. I have a proposal to facilitate restoration of the lake. When I was working with Pierce County on lake level control, they formed a project team. It consisted of members from their technical staff, surface water management, and legal departments. Even for this relatively straightforward issue, working together required weekly and for stretches almost daily interactions. The head of that team even came to speak at an LMD meeting. County creation of this team proved to be an effective and efficient method to resolve our concerns. While the Lake Management District is the proper forum for citizens to bring their concerns to the city, it is not structured to actively work with property owners on something so involved as lake restoration. For example, in the past, property owners have brought concerns to the board, and if those concerns were passed to the city, they had to await the next LMD meeting to be told the response. My suggestion is that the city form a project team similar to that was created by the county. The American Lake Restoration Team, in effect, the ALERT. They would have as members city technical staff for obvious reasons, city financial staff because cyanobacteria mitigation will require funding, city legal staff because amendment to the LMD will be required, city public relations staff because assessment levels and other changes to the LMD will require voter approval. Property owners, as with the ALERT, would draw upon their subject experts as needed to develop the lake management plan as well as a funding program. The knowledge that is required to restore the lake may already be in hand. There are 2 consultant studies that were done in the mid-90s after the pet poisoning incident. There are 2+ decades of lake water quality testing results collected by volunteers in the city's recently discontinued lake monitoring volunteer program. There's also the experience
30
gained
seconds
from
left.
the successful as well as unsuccessful treatments of other lakes. 1 sentence more. We would work with that project team would work with property owners to review this information and together agree on a path forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Stan.
Anyone else who would like to speak?
My name is Joel Brown. I also live on American Lake. And I think there's a little bit of a groundswell amongst lake owners regarding milfoil, Phomopsis algae, cyanobacteria. And we really want to work with you to figure out what we can do as a solution. We want to figure out where can we go with this to make this a better lake, a more pristine lake, like it was before it was so populated. And we have many, many years of sediment and septic runoff and everything else into the lake that it's now time that we have to try and reverse this as best we can. So we're very appreciative that the city is getting as many sewers in as they are. That can help greatly. I'm very appreciative that that we have this board that has gone after the Eurasian milfoil. That's really good. However, in my area, it has proven to be woefully ineffective. I could fill truckloads and truckloads of bales of milfoil from my property, and it's a concern of ours that this is still ongoing. So we're actually here, I think, hoping to just get a new direction on the health of our lake somewhere in the future. And we want to help, but we know that government moves slowly, and this lake is not in the best of shape right now, and we would like something to happen sooner than later. So we're here to try and expedite that process and whatever possible interactions we might give. So hopefully we can do that. And I think there's a lot of people out there that share that same sentiment. So hopefully that can happen.
All right, thank you.
Excuse me, Joel, what was your
Yeah.
last name?
Verana, Branna.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Okay, you?
My name is Darren Lowry. I live on American Lake in Tillicum as well. And at a meeting in DuPont, quite a few were there. Someone mentioned what the assessment is per foot on the lake, the owners on the lake. I think that it's very low. And I think for some of the things I heard the other night, it's time to maybe ask the taxpayers or the people that are around the lake to increase that. Even doubling it, I don't think kill anyone, but it's a very small amount of money. I think it's time for us to pitch in and help the lake become healthy again. Darren Lowry, Tillicum.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You guys have comment? Yes.
Sure. My name is James Blackwell. I live in Lakewood and Eagle Point in the HOA. I say like I'm concerned with some of the stuff I've seen, like very appreciative, enjoy the lake a lot. During like all the details of the volunteer water quality monitoring program was ended. Having my first kids soon in a couple months here, and we're in the lake, enjoy the lake a lot, and from the safety element. I really want to make sure we can have a nice plan out here. There's so many people who poured so much energy into this. And like Joel shared, like I would love to be a part of like working together to monitor the lake and make sure it's safe, healthy to be enjoyed by not only everyone who lives on the lake, but in the community. So many people drive, come enjoy the lake from all over. And I would love for that to be around. City's invested so much in the amazing parks and a lot of renovations, a lot of improvements. I think the lake's a big core component of that draws people to Lakewood. I agree, like the 66 cents per foot, I think it's pretty low, and there's probably other sources of revenue that we could gather to pour into the massive investment that we need to get the lake on a good maintain like improvement plan. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Excuse me, Joel Congeeser. And I just kind of want to support what some of the others have said here. It seems to me like the Lake Management District is the agency agency that would kind of take care of some of these concerns, at least at this point. It may go over to some other group that would support this, but there's a lot of people that are concerned about, the low lake levels, but also that the blue-green algae that's causing the problems. And I think we really need to start dealing with it somehow. So I would support what James has said and the others have said, and hopefully we'll start moving forward on this.
Thank you.
Mark Pfeiffer. I live on American Lake, just down east of the park. Maybe a little bit of reality check. When I was at that briefing, our presentation at Eagle Point 2 weeks ago, or whenever it was, I think I heard that Stillicum Lake property owners are paying $12 a foot.
Lake Stillicum.
Yeah, Lake Stillicum, $12 a foot
Yeah.
for a lake that the average depth is less than 10 feet. And it's a Class B lake. It's nowhere near the size. So, we're really, that's a quantum increase that would be required in American Lake. And we had a hard time. I was the chair of the first board. We had a hard time getting the residents to go for the 66 cents. At one point it was 67 cents, but one of the residents of Silcox thought that was too much, so it got down to 66 cents. And you're right, it's a ridiculously small amount. Ridiculous. Also, it's a really big issue to try and clean up.
Yes.
Jean Congeeser, and I live at American Lake, and yes, I support what the individuals in here are saying. And I don't want to be in the same predicament we're in right now, 3 years from now, because we did nothing. I think we're looking for where the action's gonna come, where the solutions are gonna come. I believe there's people, like Brownsville people, that want to help that happen and help whoever it is make the decisions and find the allotted monies that are out there. Work with the feds and the military or whoever it is. But right now we have 6 grown kids, married to 6 grown kids, that's 12 adults. We have 7 grandchildren with dogs, and right now we would tell them not to go into the lake or around the lake, and have said that since November. Because of the cyanobacteria. So the cyanobacteria is a huge issue, but we also have our boat owners can't use their docks, they can't invite people over. And the stench of the smell is like a barnyard. You can't have a barbecue. I mean, it's a mess. And it's been like this, been building in this for the last 3 years. And the reason people are concerned is we need to know who has the answers and how we can help get the answers and see the difference in the next 3 years.
All right, thank you. Anybody else?
Seeing no other volunteers to speak. Public comment closed then. Oh,
That's all I'm wanting.
Deidre, do you have any public comments? Or are you good?
I am good. Thank you.
Okay.
Madam Chair, it's your meeting to move forward.
unfinished business, we need to approve the draft minutes from December the 10th. Do I hear a recommendation for, to approve?
I have a comment on the minutes from last time.
Yes, Jeff?
Under the work plan item, it looks like the sentence is incomplete. And under Murray Creek, there's one word with,
Cut off.
it's like the sentence or whatever is
Whoops.
missing.
It got cut off.
Yeah, it must have gotten cut off.
And under the budget, it lists 2023 and 2024 numbers. And I think you meant to have 2025.
I thought we
We
fixed
correct that.
So I would not approve these particular minutes.
Okay.
I think it's. Most people said they got printed out.
Yeah.
Let me go check these other.
Yeah, let's take a look at the other ones.
Well, so that's the
Same.
work plan and the agenda. The work plan doesn't have the meeting
Yeah.
minutes.
This is just
The
that.
work- the agenda.
Minutes. Then we will get that corrected so we can approve them
Next meeting.
at the next meeting. Jeff,
Yeah, that's fine.
No, correct that too.
then new business. Discuss.
I wouldn't mind making a comment. My comments that I really appreciate all the public comments made today. And I think the rest of the board here, the Citizens Advisory Board does too, because we've already been wondering how, well, it's at a very appropriate time for all the discussion to consider how to potentially change the scope of what the board advises or the city does with the LMD as the 10-year period runs out in July of 2029, but probably the funding runs out and it is expired at the end of 2028. And the the city would know whatever process could be put in place prior to that time to make any adjustments to what the city does with the LMD. I do not, but certainly what happens with the LMD going forward, given or what is presented to the voters to be habit tackle going forward, is this is a great time to discuss all that and try to figure that out. And so your comments are appreciated. One thing I'd love to have the commenters consider and provide additional feedback in the future through the American Lake Improvement Club or however, is a difficult question we wondered about when the LMD was formed, and that is, should any consideration be given to trying to have the public who uses the lake, who does not live on the lake and is not a shoreline owner and therefore not a taxpayer, provide any of the means of the funding for trying to help keep the lake improved? In the past, we didn't have a way to figure out how to do that well, but that is a question that we all might want to consider, because so many of the people that use the lake aren't necessarily just the shoreline owners. So any thoughts in that area going forward would also probably be very useful to the city. Those are my comments.
So we're discussing the expansion of the LMD beyond, milfoil.
So Jeff, since we're on the first bullet business item under new business, your last comment asking about funding from those that use the lake, and the answer is yes, that's already in place. Every boat trailer registration in the state of Washington pays a $5 fee. Of that, $3 goes to Ecology for milfoil treatment. And so our most recent grant for $75,000 was paid out of that $3 a year per boat trailer, or it's $5 a year per boat trailer, of which $3 of that goes to Ecology. So those that use the lake do pay through their boat trailer tabs, as well as other lakes in the state of Washington. And this is the second time the ALMD has received a grant from Department of Ecology for treating milfoil. The previous one was 2019.
What kind of launching fees are they, and how do we manage knowing that they are paid by the boaters that are coming in off the lake?
So you pay launching fees at the city boat launch at American Lake North. And then
Can I try that? I live right next to that place.
no, Stan, this is not,
Okay.
public comments closed. This is the board discussing. And then WDFW's ramp, you pay a vehicle access pass fee when you buy like your fishing license, or it's not Discover permit, but anyway,
Whatever the
yeah,
permit.
Discover Pass.
Okay.
Yeah. So you do pay that.
So we know that every boat that comes on the lake, even throughout the summer, they have to pay when there's no way to actually see that they actually paid.
Well, they
I
would,
mean, there is no locked gate that you have to put a card in or anything else to verify.
no, they're both
It-
public
no.
accesses, but they have in
Is it
play.
because of the waters of the state?
If you don't have your vehicle access pass at the WDFW ramp near Camp Murray, you'll get a ticket.
Oh, okay.
And same with if you launch at American Lake Park and you don't have your paid for your parking. So
There's also an opportunity for an annual pass that you can
correct.
get
you can get
online
Okay.
for American Lake North.
Okay. Just want to verify because we have a lot of boats that come in and.
Yeah.
And I just,
Okay, there's nothing at the Fish and Wildlife, but the Discover Pass covers that.
okay,
Yeah, or your vehicle access pass.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Next item.
next,
No, we can discussion there's.
is there any other discussion on the expansion of the LMD beyond the milfoil?
I do.
Okay.
In light of the public comment today, and basically what Jeff said as well, there's a lot of things that are on the RCW that allows the LMD to manage. Those are on the RCW. It's a list of water quality and related things that are allowed for us to manage. That is a list that is not required for us to do. If we want to do any of those, we have to actually add a project, and there is a process. And what Janet brought up earlier and at the last meeting, we still need to have a response from legal on that process, see how we can best go through that with the LMD and with landowner, shore owner approval. Because really the LMD is owned by the shore owners, and the city is the parking place for that. It's the municipality for us to work through. So we have to kind of work as a team on all that. So I prefer to start looking at what else needs to be done. We can also increase by the RCW, we can also increase funding without a vote up to 150%. So that is one little slice we could do if we needed to do that to get extra funding. Anything above that needs to have a voter approve ballot to be able to increase assessment.
So you're just talking about the assessments?
Yeah, I'm talking about the assessment, but
Okay.
but in order to be able to pay for any increase projects, those have to be funded before they can be done. That's part of the process.
Well, you have to get voter approval of expansion of the mission too, do you not?
Yes, exactly. That's part of the process, yeah. Which we handed this page out to, which had the outline of the process, and in the December meeting, and we still need to have response from that.
So, continuing that discussion, Kurt, I'd say one thing is City of Lakewood is also a shoreline owner too.
Right, exactly.
With the parks.
Exactly.
The other part that would be necessary is the permitting for any treatment. So for instance, we have a permit to treat milfoil with Persilicor. You would
Correct.
also
There's
need
an
a-
NPDES has to be along with
you
it.
would need to get your ecology permit for treating, let's say, cyanobacteria or something.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's all part of that process.
Yes, and I'm just saying that there's effort involved in that to make that happen.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
One thing that'd be very useful is to get an understanding of the length of time it would take for the city to implement changes to the LMD. And I guess to set that tone, the LMD was formed in, pardon me. Am I still there?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep,
Jeff.
you're okay.
The LMD was formed in June of 2019, so it technically expires in June of 2029, but funding was used and treatment was applied in 2019. So Weston, I assume that the last funding round for this over 10 years and the last treatment will be in summer of 2028. Is that correct?
Correct. That's my understanding. The last assessment would go out May of 28.
And that would apply to work, and that money would be used for work done in summer of 2028.
That's my understanding, but I'm still working with the legal department on some of the nuances, especially the reformation or the formation of another LMD for another 10-year period.
Yeah. So do you know, for any expansion of mission to go out, does the city need a year for the process to put out public comment and get a vote on it? Or is that a 6-month process, or what kind of perspective can you give on that?
Yeah, Jeff, I don't have an answer for you for that at this time.
Okay. And is the city got a process? Have they begun discussion of a process of any possible expansion prior to that?
Yeah, so both those are on the table. We're doing the background and research on that because we want to make sure we're careful in our response on how to move forward.
Okay. All right.
Any other discussion on the expansion of the LMD?
Also, Eric here, can't hardly.
You have any?
Nothing.
Okay.
And then Todd from JBLM.
Todd, do you have any comments for the expansion of the LMD?
No, nothing specific. I think, obviously JBLM would be in support of their portion of the lakeshore front. And obviously any changes to that, we'd run up the chain here and get a command approval.
Okay, thank you.
I guess the last thing I'd say is, again, we're working on American Lake with multiple owners that includes JBLM, VA, Camp Murray.
Plus all the 360 some odd of lake
Big
resident,
bingo, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
plus
a large,
the city.
Yeah.
Plus the city.
the lake's
properties.
almost 1,100 acres, so it's a very large lake.
Oh, yeah, okay. So the next on the agenda is the
This meeting
assessment,
is being recorded.
the assessment flyer.
I don't know.
Do we have any comments for the assessment flyer? Do you have a comment, Jeff?
So
No,
here's
I'm,
just passages the
I'm
board.
trying to get back into video and it looks like I'm causing problems.
Yeah, Jeff, can you mute? You're causing some sort of feedback or?
Yeah.
It's open twice as
I think there's a bird.
Oh,
Really?
yeah, okay. Sorry about that, guys.
Sorry. My phone rang.
No, Jeff, I think you joined twice. You're in the queue twice somehow, and so it was causing feedback, but I've muted one of your accounts, so we should be good now.
Yeah, I understand. I'm trying to figure out how to get back in, so.
So Jeff, can you hear us?
And I'm lost.
Jeff, can you hear us okay?
He's gonna need help.
It's weird. I know. When they did this, it went- it double.
Not sure. Can we remove his second? Yeah, hit remove and see if that will work.
There you go.
I don't know which.
Don't report to Zoom, obviously.
Yeah.
The other one's not on camera. That's the one you want to remove. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. There you go.
Let's see.
Is it working for you now, Jeff?
Now try the chat.
Yeah, sorry, when my phone rang, it wiped me out of the pictures and I tried to come back in and it caused a second one and I think I'm good now.
Okay.
Well, yeah, please.
No, except just updating the running cost.
Right. So
Kurt,
the
yeah, so
flyer
this is the 25 flyer. So.
Right, so we
we'll
will
put a
address-
draft,
we
but
will-
Is there anything new you want to add,
well,
other than updated date?
we always talked about the good, bad, and the ugly,
Right.
and I think we need to start looking at where we've been and where we're going. Kurt, you want to take a look at that?
That's the 20.
Jeff, we're looking at the flyer.
You-
Do you have a copy
I
of the
don't think you
flyer?
can pull it up.
I do not.
She can't do that. Yeah,
No.
Let's not.
You can-
That's the 25,
you can
so.
email it to me after the meeting. I'll look at it then and give you a comment.
I will.
Okay, well, then we will continue that discussion on the flyer.
Well, it needs to be updated as far as
Yeah,
members.
well, yeah, but
Yes. Members date.
Yeah.
so we'll hold that for the next meeting. And then the last thing we have are the board members in their term of commitment.
Looks like Jeff is the only one,
Coming up,
well, his would expire before the end of the ALMD. So
Right.
we would only have to solicit for one new board member before the end.
right? So
Next spring, so.
next spring, we will be looking for a new board member if
For a 1-year term.
for a year term. So if there is someone that is interested, we go out and announce, and it will be announced. We'd like to have applicants so that we can. We as it's set up, the LMV only meets 4 times a year, and maybe that's another issue we need to discuss on the board. Especially if we're going to start looking at more and more areas of concern.
Yeah, I believe that that would be appropriate to look at, see if, maybe expand to some showrunners for working group as well.
And maybe even special talents of scientific
Yeah,
talent.
that's what like Janet discussed earlier in the comments,
Right.
is to be able to have people who can weigh in and give us some learned advice.
So Kurt, would you?
I've got
also-
lots of names I could bring forward.
Correct. Kurt, would you also want to consider hiring consultant assistants? Or are you thinking you would just from the 300 and some shorefront owners, you would pull your scientific?
No, we would have to go outside of that for the scientific, as far as, university, we've got lots of people that have lots of experience that, and Barry Halverson, he's a good resource. He's with, Lake Leonard. And he's the, Washington State LMD chair.
Yeah.
So he's the coordinator for all the LMDs. So he'd be a good, and he could help pull in people as well.
And so this board would be a volunteer board of
Yeah.
scientists?
Yeah, that would, yeah.
What you planned?
That's what I would suggest to begin with, and if that didn't work, we would have to have funding to be able to actually pay somebody out of what we, the pittance that we bring in.
Well, I think that's, was discussed a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we have budget and liens,
I have one other.
give it 20,
uh,
yes,
Yes, Jeff?
I guess new business I'd like to discuss. I
So we're gonna
recommend-
add to the agenda, Jeff, is what I hear you say?
New business.
Yeah, I'd like to discuss the spring and fall surveys and the final report.
oh, okay. Go ahead, what kind of comments do you have?
My basic comments is that I think the quality of the maps of the spring and fall surveys, so that we can try to identify how effective the treatment program has been, is insufficient. And that it's insufficient in 2 capacities. One is clarity, especially the fall map. And the other is that they don't seem to be done with the same, what I'll call legend. So you've got dots on the spring map, you've got dots on the fall map. You can't tell if there's a difference between what the dots represent. In the spring map, it does identify where they're intending to do certain types of, or where the treatment's going to happen and who probably is responsible in terms of the funding split. And in the final report, it's not clear as to other methods, and especially it's not clear in their total vegetation map what that represents, if that's just natural biomass in the water column, if that's still a lot of milfoil. I think a lot more clarity needs to be done in terms of what is written up and what those maps represent, to really, for us and the public to understand how effective the treatment program was this year and then going forward. I was particularly not happy to hear that one of the owners here feels that they had significant milfoil remaining in the fall, if I understood that correctly. So I don't think that we've got enough detail in the materials presented to us by Aquatechnics to really have a good idea how effective the treatment program was this year.
So I'm hearing from you, Jeff, that you feel that a resident is complaining about their,
That gentleman.
oh, that you knew what the milfoil, the Eurasian milfoil looked like, and you were confident
Kurt
that,
was outside.
oh, okay, that I didn't know.
My comments on the report and the maps are totally independent from what a public comment was earlier. It seemed to tie into kind of my reading of the reports, is that I can't tell how effective our treatment program was this year from the way that the information's been presented in those maps and that report.
Yes. The board concur.
Does the, do you all concur that the reports are not adequate for our review to determine the level of cleanup? Do I hear anybody from the board say yay or nay? Kurt? Do you think that the reports are adequate, or are we missing information, or it doesn't?
No, I agree with what Jeff is saying as far as the continuity between the treatment plan, the planned treatment map and the actual fall treatment. The results is when you're reporting biomass, it's hard to tell which is biomass and which is milfoil. Because we kind of need to know the actual milfoil spots, what they became. Are they just native now? It's really hard to tell from that.
From the maps.
From the maps, yeah.
Not actual observation.
The report also does not specifically state whether the methods in the spring and the fall were identical, so you can do a best comparison.
You mean the survey method?
The survey method, and it doesn't state if the survey method to create that third map, which is biomass in the water column, was a different method or the same method. So even just looking at the quality of the maps presented, it's very hard to tell how effective the program was.
So Jeff, I can tell you, at least for the spring survey, it's a visual survey that's done. And the fall survey, I believe, is also the visual survey. But then Terry uses some additional equipment for the biomass survey. And again, those are very moderately priced reports. So what we can do, because we're coming up on whether or not to execute an addendum for 2026 with Aquatechnics, I can provide the board with what the contract language would look like for the spring and the fall survey. And if we want to increase the report in its content or additional survey, we can do that. And then Terry can give us a price on it. I will say that today I was emailing with Terry with Aquatechnics. One recommendation Terry made was to do a DNA test on milfoil to see if there's some hybridization going on. It's about $750 per test. So that would be a suggestion to do that as well.
I don't.
How
have-
many tests was he recommending? Did you get into that?
He did not. So this is pretty fresh. The ink's still drying on the paper. So yeah. But I'll put that together and email that to the board, both the scope elements and then how many tests the 750 represents, if it's a single test or multiple tests.
I would defer to Kurt on the DNA testing. He is much more knowledgeable in that arena.
Jeff, could you speak up because it's hard?
No,
Oh,
Jeff, are you able to speak up more?
Yeah, I'm
this
sorry. I would defer to Kurt on the DNA testing as he's much more knowledgeable about the value of that. And I would appreciate if we can get some improvements in the reporting to better evaluate the effectiveness of the program.
I kind of have ambivalent about that issue because if it looks like milfoil, it's probably milfoil, even if it is hybridized with the western or the northern milfoils. So it's going to act like milfoil. It's going to take over like milfoil. The natives aren't going to do that. So to me, it's like I'd rather just get rid of it too. And spending the extra money on that doesn't seem to me like a big benefit. That's my personal opinion.
The way I read the report is that it seemed to imply to me that they would use a different chemical to get rid of the hybridized milfoil. I don't know enough about it to know whether that would be the case or not. So I think a question would be, if they found it was hybridized, does that change how they recommend to treat it or not?
Yeah, I think we need to have Terry weigh in on that. I'm not familiar with. I mean, you got triclopyr, you've got 2,4-D, you've got several different products that are available for aquatic applications. So I think Terry could weigh in on that better than I could.
did I hear you say 2,4-D?
Yeah, that's been 2,4-D is an aquatic as well. Diquat is another one.
Any other comments on the report? And none,
No.
we can move on to want to discuss that budget.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty high level.
You want to,
Yeah, I'm
You
ready
got-
to talk
okay.
about that.
Preston will talk about the budget lanes.
The fun stuff. So let's see, I want to make sure I follow the agenda items. So the first one was a grant reimbursement. And Jeff, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So as you know, we had a $75,000 grant that could be used for work that was done in 2025 as well as 2026. We had more than sufficient invoices to even bill out the full grant amount for 2025 because that included JBLM work. Where we settled on was a little higher than anticipated. We just billed $64,441.42 to Washington Department of Ecology for the grant. That leaves $10,558.58 that we can bill in 2026. However, that money comes right back to the ALMD So our ending balance for 2025 was $15,654.49. So that ended December 31st, 2025. So looking at what would be available for 26, and again, this is assuming the full assessment is paid. We'll talk about liens here in a minute. But the full assessment for 1 year is $23,735. So adding that in with the grant, the year-end budget. However, at the formation, a loan was taken to form the ALMD from the city. So there is a repayment, yearly repayment. See if I can find the right amount. So for 2026, the repayment is $2,649, leaving us a remaining or a budget for 2026, again, assuming full payment of the assessment of $47,000, $314,314.29. Typically, we hold back about a 10% reserve. So our working budget for 26 is, because of the grant and the carry forward, is 42,500, which is very close to what we estimated in the work plan.
Thanks for that. Could you send an email with those exact numbers?
Yes, 100%.
And you'll need to make a correction on the agenda numbers that you have then.
Yeah, the 23,620 is the wrong number there.
Well, so is the 25,000 with 4 zeros after the 25.
I'll fix it.
Okay. And,
Okay, so the current, the liens. Just copy that. I know I printed that. How many names do you put? So we have currently nine liens against properties that are in the ALMD. The total of those liens, I wrote that down. So. Here it is, $1,863.53 in current liens. So if those liens were paid off, it would increase the budget very well, slightly above the dollar amount in the work plan. And again, I can summarize this after the meeting.
Thank you.
and there was a handout spreadsheet for.
That was just the liens. I have
Was it
it.
just the liens?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have it.
Yeah, the work plan, okay.
And then the work plans was.
So do we have any comments on the work plan? Did you have any comments on the liens or the?
So the last time we looked at the liens, there was one property owner there that I know no longer lives there. I don't know if they sold the property, number 23 of,
No, sorry. Would be this one. Your spreadsheet.
That was
It's the same
printed
one.
as of like 2:30 today from.
Yeah.
is there an address on there?
Right
On-
here,
That's
29, 29. Country Club?
29.
Okay,
I think that's the one I'm thinking of. They may not live there anymore. I don't know if they sold the house. It seems like when you sell, those liens would have to be
satisfied. By
satisfied.
the sale.
So, yeah,
And so these get addressed on an ongoing basis as they come up. The only one that's that we haven't had any luck with, and maybe with the audience here, is
Thornwood Beach
the
Club.
Thornwood Beach Club. Does anybody belong to the Thornwood Beach Club?
It says
I-
Thornwood Beach Club, P.O. Box 811. It's not a proper address. It's just a
I
P.O.
was
Box.
told by Doug Russell what the problem is there, if I'm allowed to speak.
Yeah, that's fine, Stan. We're at the very end of the meeting, but you know, we've tried to contact Thornwood Beach Club multiple times over the last 3 years.
Does anybody know anybody at Thornwood Beach Club?
Doug Russell told me that what happened was when the family died, it all got parceled out to a whole bunch of different people. So it appears as a lien under the name of the Thornwood Beach Club,
Correct.
but it actually belongs to this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and that guy.
Hmm.
And they're not paid. Gotta
Okay.
find it.
Well, what we'll
It's not
do,
worth finding.
we'll work with finance and take a look at the assessors. side.
Yeah, that'd be the way to do it.
Yeah.
That's what, you know. That way you know
We've
who owns what.
looked before, but we'll try again, because it goes to somewhere, I think in DuPont.
Okay, we are looking at setting up the next meeting,
Yep.
which you. Would be. June.
Yeah, I would think,
When did?
Yeah, June would be
is
good.
that the survey, that's the survey,
right, so we would want to have the survey done.
right, so. Because it's so weather, well, since it's weather. Related, shall we? Try and set one up now and then just change it if the weather looks like it's iffy? We can do that. Because Harry doesn't come out when it's windy and yada, yada, yada.
Right, because it's visual.
You
You
can't do anything.
can't do anything with visual if it's windy.
Yeah.
So that first full week of June is. The Monday is June 8th.
Yes,
Does the board have a preference on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? It seems like we have pretty good attendance. Starting at 4 o'clock, one of those days.
does anybody have a preference on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
But Monday we can't do because of.
Oh.
City council and.
Oh, just a second, you're right.
and
Mondays are out.
Wednesday is planning commission, so.
So it's Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah, Tuesdays
Jeff,
and
do you-
Thursdays are the best.
Do you have a comment?
I have commitments on Tuesday, so Thursday is the best for me.
Okay, it looks like then Thursday, the
11th
11th of June,
for
for the third,
schedule that right now.
to schedule that, and it'll be in council chambers.
Correct.
So anyone here that wants to appear as the public will be in council chambers from here on in. And it will be, we will put a notice out for confirmation for the date, depending on when our contractor can get out and do the survey. Any other comments for any of us?
A quick one on your question about paying at the boat launch. At the American Lake Boat Launch, the park boat launch that's on Veterans.
Yeah.
It's an honor system, subject to the risk of getting a ticket. You drive down to the launch and look to the right, there's a kiosk there, just like a parking garage. Pay $12 or whatever it is to launch. Get the little printout, put it on your dash. You can also pay $100 some for an annual fee. I live just down the street, so kind of as a hobby, I walk my dogs past there, check dashes. I have literally never seen a ticket on someone's
He's
dash.
not wrong.
There are,
We live like 3 blocks. He's not wrong.
you often see police cars sitting there. I don't think they're trying.
They don't write tickets.
Speeders, yeah, they're just kind of relaxing, but I asked
So
one
do
of
we
the
need
ones.
to work with the park department
What's
to,
that?
do we need to work with the park department?
Raise your hand.
There are often
I'll
police
pass it
cars
on.
sitting there. I think they're
I'll
just
have a
relaxing.
new
They're not
director.
trying to catch speeders. And I asked one of them once what it would take to get that enforced. And he said, quote, "It's not an enforcement priority," close quote.
Correct,
So it's a chief of police thing.
correct.
Well,
Who works
since
for Doug Russell, the city manager.
Well,
we have a, we have a new Parks Director. I don't, so Weston will pass that on and
Yep.
we'll work on it on the other side of another advisory group.
I have one question.
Yes.
So I was listening to your budget and it's your agenda, reason I was here and I'm here, I'm here, talked about the way I perceived it was we're treating with milfoil. And the question was on the agenda, do we need to expand that to treat the cyanobacteria? That's why I didn't hear that answer. And the second thing is, I can see in your budget, you don't have money to treat cyanobacteria. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So you would have to go outside to find the solution and find the money. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, just some background on that. So I talked a little bit with Ecology last week about the grant funding side. So they take out of that $5 on car tabs, and I'm going from memory here.
Look at that.
$3 they use, again, for boat trailer tabs. $3 goes to the milfoil. I think he said $2 goes to cyanobacteria. So
Yeah.
those grants are maxed out at $50,000. And they only come around every couple of years. And this year, or this last year, when that grant program came up, they kept holding off letting us know for the one we got for milfoil because they didn't know if the state legislature was going to approve the kind of monies needed to treat American Lake.
Right.
Because it is 1,100 acres. It's a huge lake.
So there really is no plan to treat beyond the milfoil for this group. Is that correct?
Correct. So
Yeah.
the group was formed in response to milfoil, or the ALMD was formed
Right.
in response to
Okay.
milfoil. That was.
And nobody else is working on it. The other part of it.
No.
Nobody in
So-
the city.
So
nobody.
that would be, I think your comment would be maybe best directed at Department of Ecology.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
And Department of Ecology has a really good webpage that you can take a look at it.
Do you have a name there?
Joey Teresi runs the grant program, whether or not he is the correct person or not.
Right.
but, yeah.
He is, and Doug Russell told me that the entire state has only $514,000 per year for the entire state.
Yeah.
Money available.
Correct. And
It's a tiny number.
so,
What's his name?
and that's a great point, Stan, because for instance, on the milfoil grant, it's not a whole lot more, and American Lake was only one, or is one of 10 people that got money. So we, out of the entire state of Washington, so we did pretty well to get that 75,000, which was the maximum amount to
So
for milfoil.
you actually can get something started with, on this size of a lake, 20% of the area, people representing 20% of the land area within, the mapped area for, and I'll have it right here, but, yeah, it is. So there's the boundaries. And so if we could represent 20% of the area by landowner, you can do a petition to the city and the LMD to get another project
And
started.
a petition would be with what names on it? Landowners?
Yes, with the landowners on it, yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, you can put together a petition, get that going with 20% of the land area. And, no, it's 10 people or 20% of the land area.
No. This takes you to.
When I was talking
the
with
website.
the guy from Lake Lawrence, I asked him that question. He said, no, a lake your size would require 20% land area. That's why we included 20% of the land area in the original LMD, to be able to satisfy that still.
Who
And that
does
does it
the
go to?
petition be directed? Who should it be directed?
It would have to be directed to the LMD and the city council, basically. The way I read it.
Okay.
Okay, do you have any comments? Mark?
So didn't there used to be?
Oh. One second, Jeff.
Wonder if we should end the meeting if we're.
Okay.
we're done
Yeah.
with-
We're done with the, okay.
Jeff?
Meeting's concluded.
Oh. The meeting's concluded?
Yes.
So we.
Okay.
Now we can have a chat.
Jeff, we're
Yeah,
gonna
no, you can-
conclude the
you can
meeting,
talk.
but we can hang online for a chat, okay?
Okay.
got a chat, so it's been a while.
Yeah, well,
Record.
I'm gonna step away, you know,
Yes.
the board
Right,
is
you know.
disbanded.
Yes, I'm trying to.
Otherwise, we're still. conducting board business.
Yeah.
I'll leave this open. Oh.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to
Yes,
end
it does say
the
that.
Want to talk?
It's in there.
recording.
So I saw you.
It does,
Let me
it does
come
say
around.
10 people or 20. So
Okay.
that's why we,
American Lake
when
was
we,
on-
when we were,
Uh,
when
it's
we
kind of devolved.
formed the LFD, we needed to have a large representation.
If you have any more comments, Jeff, you can email them to me in Weston
Right, on the original petition.
or the board.
It's been funding all the.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff.
The Lake Wall.
The way it's worded,
Lake-
tens enough. So you're saying
Yeah.
it's worded poorly and there's not some.
Yeah, I'm not, I had to go back and look at the.
But I think it's
Very specifically said 10 property owners.
Yeah, it does. Or 20.
Yes, there was a Pierce County meeting. We can follow up on that offline. It's kind of loud in here and it's hard to hear. I'm gonna end the meeting and we'll follow up offline, okay?
Draw like American Lake. Would fit that too.
Here, let me ask Kurt this real quick. Kurt, isn't there a program or wasn't there a program at the county for toxic allergy?
Somewhere, gasoline. Stores that we have.
You mean a funded program or something to monitor?
I thought there was a funded program related to toxic algae.
I'm not aware of anything like that.
Was it only a monitor?
Because there hasn't been any money available
Yes.
to lakes publicly, other than that $50,000 we talked about earlier.
Okay.
Okay.